શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનની જય, અક્ષર પુરુષોત્તમ મહારાજની જય, ગુણાતીતાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય, ભગતજી મહારાજની જય, શાસ્ત્રીજી મહારાજની જય, યોગીજી મહારાજની જય, પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય, મહંત સ્વામી મહારાજની જય, પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજ શતાબ્દી મહોત્સવની જય, અક્ષરધામ મહોત્સવની જય. Shastriji Maharaj, in his puja, used to keep a mada. Now that mada was actually a prasadi mada, a sanctified mada by Shriji Maharaj. And Shastriji Maharaj used to use that mada too. Now once in Ahmedabad, Shastriji Maharaj was doing puja, and at that time Yogi Bapa and Pramukh Swami Maharaj were also present. After Shastriji Maharaj finished his puja, Yogi Bapa requested Shastriji Maharaj that you told Narayan Swami you would give him this mada, so please give it to him. Shastriji Maharaj said, I told him I would give him this mada if he finished his Sanskrit studies. But he has not finished, so he can't have it. Yogi Bapa lovingly argued with Shastriji Maharaj, Ke Swami, he will finish. Please give him the mada. So, hearing Yogi Bapa's request, Shastriji Maharaj gave this mada to Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Bapa then kept this mada in his puja for a couple of years. At that time, Shastriji Maharaj went to Dham. After Shastriji Maharaj went to Dham, there was a Hari Bhakta who was collecting Shastriji Maharaj's sanctified prasadi items. Now that Hari Bhakta realized that Pramukh Swami Maharaj has this prasadi mada. So the Hari Bhakta, he went to Bapa and he told Bapa, "Ke please give me this mada." So Bapa obviously, because the mada was dear to him, and because Shastriji Maharaj had given him Shriji Maharaj's prasadi mada, said no.
એટલે મને એમને 2-3 વખત કહ્યું આ તો માળા છે એટલે એ તો મારી પાસે જ મારે રાખવી છે, સ્વામીએ રાજી થઈને આપી છે, જોગીમાની આજ્ઞા અને એમને રાજીપાથી મળી છે તો મારે પૂજામાં રાખવી.
So Bapa told the Hari Bhakta, कि Yogi Bapa had this mada given to me, therefore I cannot give it to anyone. So hearing this, the Hari Bhakta tried to trick Bapa. So he said to Bapa, okay, if you don't have to give me the mada, Bapa, but let me take this mada and go show it to my family so that at least they can have darshan of it. I'll bring it back straight away. Now the Hari Bhakta was a very old Hari Bhakta who'd done lots of seva of Shastriji Maharaj. So Bapa gave him the mada. And Bapa said to him, look, I'm finishing my puja in 5-10 minutes. So in that time, go, let everyone in your family have darshan and bring the mada back. However, the Hari Bhakta took the mada and never brought it back. Then every time Bapa would see that Hari Bhakta, Bapa would remind him, could you please give me the mada back? Could you please give me the mada back? Because this mada for Bapa, it had smrutis of Shriji Maharaj, of Shastriji Maharaj, and of Yogiji Maharaj.
ભગવાન એટલે પછી એ માળા ગઈ એટલે મને તો મનમાં જરા થોડું દુઃખ થયું કે શાસ્ત્રી મારી માળા મારાની પ્રસાદી યોગી બાપાએ અપાયેલી એવું મનમાં બહુ રહ્યા કરે મને.
But the Hari Bhakta never gave the mada back. He even went to Yogi Bapa and told Yogi Bapa, tell Pramukh Swami to stop asking for this mada back. So one day in Ahmedabad, Bapa was doing his puja. Yogi Bapa came there with that Hari Bhakta, and Yogi Bapa said to Bapa, do not think about getting this prasadi mada back. Instantly Bapa said, very well, due to your wish I was given the mada, and now your wish is this, so no problem, let the mada stay with him. Many times after when Bapa narrated this prasang, Bapa would always say, once Yogi Bapa told me that I was not meant to have this mada, મને એ માળાનો સંકલ્પ પણ થયો નથી. Meaning I have never thought about that mada ever again.
એક વખત હું અમદાવાદમાં હું મેળા ઉપર પૂજા કરતો, જોગીવાન નીચે બધા હોલ છે એની અંદર પૂજા કરતા દરરોજને ત્યાં ભક્તો બેસતા અને હું મારા માટે નહીં ધોઈને ઉપર પૂજા કરતો. ઉપર પૂજા કરતો હતો અને એ ઘડીએ પછી જોગીમાની પૂજા થઈ રહી પૂરી એટલે જોગી બાપા બધાને જય સોનન કરતાં કરતાં ઠેઠ ઉપર આવ્યા અને છગનભાઈ અને હર્ષદભાઈને 2-3 જણા મુંબઈથી તે દાડે સવારે 6 વાગે મેલા આવે એમાં આવેલા અને પૂજામાં નાહી ધોઈને દર્શન કર્યા સ્વામીના. એટલે સ્વામીએ પછી કહ્યું કે ચાલો આપણે ઉપર પ્રમુખ સ્વામી છે પૂજા કરે છે ત્યાં દર્શન કરવા જઈએ એમ કરીને ઉપર આવ્યા. ઉપર આવ્યા ને પછી બેઠા ને પછી કંઈ બહુ સારું થયું, જો હરિભક્તો આવ્યા છે, આ છે તેમ છે પેમ છે, પણ જો હવે એક મારે તમને વાત કરવી છે. હું કરો ને, બહુ સારી વાત, હું વાંધો નહીં. તો કે જો આપણે પ્રસાદી જે માળા છે એ આપણે છગનભાઈને આપી છે તો હવે તને સંભાળશો જ નહીં, મને કહે. હા, તો બધું એવું થયું એકદમ મનમાં જરા એક તો લાગ્યું, પણ હવે પછી પાછું મને તરત વિચાર થયો કે જોગી મહારાજ કહ્યું છે એટલે બરાબર છે, કારણ કે મને માળા મળવાની તો નહોતી. સાચીમાં કંઈ ભણે તો જ તને આપું. જોગી મહારાજે ખાસ વિનંતી કરીને મને માળા મળી, એટલે એમના વચનથી મને મળી છે ને એમના વચનથી આવે એ કહે છે તો મારે ભૂલી જવાનું. એ ત્યારથી ભૂલી ગયા ગયું. પછી કોઈ દાડો સાંભળી નથી, વિચાર આવ્યો નથી, સંકલ્પ થયો નથી. એટલે કહેવાનું શું છે કે મોટા પુરુષની આજ્ઞા પડે તો આજે અંતરે શાંતિ છે, આનંદ છે ને સુખ છે. બંને પુરુષો એવા રાજી થયા છે તો આ બધું કામ થાય છે.
So, from the lessons that Mahant Swami Maharaj gave us, that we can learn from Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life, the first lesson we see in this prasang is to live a pure life, so as not to transgress the commands of God and His holy sadhu. Very clearly, we can see in this prasang and many other prasangs that Pramukh Swami Maharaj has always followed his Guru's agna. He's never disobeyed it even slightly. However, Pramukh Swami Maharaj takes this one step further, because another lesson Mahant Swami Maharaj told us to learn from him was to cultivate unflinching faith in God and Guru, and always remain humble, honest and sincere towards them. In this prasang, we also see that Pramukh Swami Maharaj followed Agna, but his faith in following this Agna was unflinching. This is because once Yogi Bapa tells Bapa to forget about the Mara, Bapa does not even say one word. It would have been very easy for Bapa to logically argue this situation, because once you are giving something, it's very hard to let go of that thing. But Bapa does not utter one single word. Instead, Bapa uses his logic in the right way. Bapa says, I was given this mara because of Yogi Bapa. And Yogi Bapa, it's now his wish to take it away from me. So see how Bapa uses his logic in the right way. Bapa then takes it another step further, because he says that once Yogi Bapa told him to forget about the mara, he's never had a thought about that mara even again, even for a split second. If it was anyone else, we would think, what if? We would say, what if I had never given that mara to the Hari Bhakta? What if I had told the Hari Bhakta or another Hari Bhakta to tell him to give me that mara back? And so on and on and on. We would go through so many what ifs in our mind. And then, to top all of this, Bapa never changes the way in which he treats that Hari Bhakta. Bapa never says anything to that Hari Bhakta. Bapa does not stop talking to that Hari Bhakta. Bapa does not throw shade on him in any way whatsoever. Bapa treats him nicely, just as nice as before he took the mara from him, and so forth. This is amazing, because we might follow the Agna. We might not even think about the Mara, but not to think bad about the Hari Bhakta, that is impossible. Now, the second prasang we are going to be looking at happened on the 24th of September 1975 in Sarangpur. Bapa had finished celebrating Shastriji Maharaj's Smruti Parva in the morning, and in the evening, Bapa was leaving Sarangpur. Bapa was leaving Sarangpur through the old Sabha Mandap main doors. And as you exit those main doors, on the left-hand side was the administrative office. Now, in that office, the post would be delivered. So as Bapa was leaving, he went to see if any post had arrived for him. As Bapa entered the office, on the desk, he saw a plain piece of paper. Seeing this, Bapa sat down, took a pen, and he wrote a letter to the Kothari of Atladra Mandir, Pujya Tyagvallabh Swami. Bapa finished writing the letter, and just as Bapa finished writing the letter, the postman arrived. The postman arrived and put down a pile of letters. Now, the Hari Bhakta who was doing seva in the office, he looked through those letters to see if there were any for Bapa. And he found one letter from Bapa, for Bapa. And that letter was from Tyagvallabh Swami. So, the Hari Bhakta gave Bapa that letter. As the Hari Bhakta gave Bapa the letter, Bapa gave him the piece of paper that he had just written on. And Bapa informed the Hari Bhakta that this letter I have just wrote, send it to Tyagvallabh Swami. I have answered all of the questions he has asked in his letter. Hearing this, everyone was amazed. They thought, this letter has just come in, and even without opening it, how has Bapa replied to all of Tyagvallabh Swami's questions? So to find out what really happened, the Santos took the letter that Tyagvallabh Swami had written, and then they had looked at the letter that Bapa had written in reply. And everyone was shocked. They had seen that every question Tyagvallabh Swami had asked, Bapa had answered it in his reply. Seeing them, Bapa lovingly laughed and said, Jairma antaryamino a pelo prasang banyo, which means this is the first public prasang of us being the all-knower. From this prasang, the lesson we can learn is to work with absolute honesty with others and with oneself. If we offer pure and honest devotion, God and his sadhu will surely be pleased and we will surely find peace. Mahant Swami Maharaj is telling us to have honest devotion, and then God and his sadhu will be pleased and we will experience peace because they are the all-knower. They know how honest we have been in our satsang. They know the effort we are making in our satsang. Even though we may have not been in Mahant Swami Maharaj's physical presence recently, or we may not be in his physical presence for a while, do not forget that he is the all-knower. Swami knows how hard we have tried and how honest we have been in following our satsang from wherever he is. And if we have done this, we will experience the same peace that we experience in his physical presence when he is not physically with us. Also, remember, do not expect to experience the fruits of satsang if we have not put in honest effort. Because being the all-knower, Maharaj and Swami know all of the things we do that we are not meant to do, and all of the things we do not do that we are meant to do. The second lesson we can learn from this prasang is to draw strength from God and only God, not from one's own efforts of achievements. This means to remember, because God and the Sant are the all-knowers, whatever they do for us is for our best. Keep this strength and never doubt them. Sometimes we write a loaded letter to Mahant Swami Maharaj, meaning we write the letter in such a way that instead of asking him his opinion, we are forcing him to choose what we want. There are times that he may not do this or do what we expect. He may not choose the college that we wanted to go to. He may not choose the field that we wanted to study. But always remember, He is the all-knower. And He always does what is best for us. Even though we may have to go through some hardships. But whatever happens is always for our best. And this reminds me of something I once read. And I feel that it applies here as well. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark, because Maharaj and Swami are always with us. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky, because Maharaj and Swami always do what is best for us. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain. Though your dreams be tossed and blown, because Maharaj and Swami are always there for us. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone, because Maharaj and Swami will never leave us. So, we took the lessons that Mahant Swami Maharaj gave us, and we analyzed just 2 prasangs from Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life. Now, these 2 prasangs come in the first 3 parts of Bapa's Jivan Chaitra. And there are many, many, many other prasangs just like this in just the first 3 parts of Bapa's Jivan Chaitra. Now, if we really want to remember Pramukh Swami Maharaj, we have to make the effort of trying to read these Jivan Chaitras. If we can't read them, try and make the effort to at least listen to them. If you find it difficult to listen to the ones we have on our website, maybe get someone to read it to you. Listen to it like that. And if you have questions, you can ask the questions in between. But we have to make an effort to read these Jivan Chaitras, because only then will we be exposed to these amazing prasangs of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Now, let's look at an example of people who have actually made that effort and have read this Jivan Chaitra. These people are not any different from us. They're our fellow Kishores and Kishoris.
Many of Pramukh Swami Maharaj's divine virtues are portrayed through the various incidents recorded in his Jivan Charitra. How have you been inspired when you read about these experiences?
I've been inspired by Swami Shri's Jivan Chaitra, as Swami Shri has truly devoted every moment of his life to us.
Something that has really inspired me from reading the Jivan Charitra is how Swami Shri has truly lived by his quote, "In the joy of others lies our own." He spent his entire life serving his gurus, Yogi Ji Maharaj and Shastri Ji Maharaj, and fulfilling the wishes of his Hari Bhaktos. And I have just gotten a glimpse of that.
Nakshiben from the West listens to the Jivan Charitra for 15 to 20 minutes each day. She says, "Reading the Jivan Charitra was the little push that helped me overcome my difficulties and helped me realize that even though I can't go to see Maharaj and Swami at Mandir physically, they're with me right here at home." Ishaben from the Southwest reads aloud from the Jivan Charitra every day after Aarti with her family. She says, "Every prasang in the Jivan Charitra inspires me by showing all the ways how Bapa handled different situations. These prasangs inspire me to ask myself, what would Swami do so that I can make him Raji?" As we can see, Kishores and Kishoris just like us have found many avenues of inspiration from the life and work of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. So, let's ask them, how has your perception of the importance of reading the Jivan Charitra changed since you first picked up the book?
After picking up the Jivan Charitra for the first time, I really felt like it was going to be a daunting task. But after I read the first few pages, I wanted to keep on reading. It's so inspiring to read about Swami Shri's prasangs and all the incidents he's had with all the Hari Bhakta.
Before, I simply considered it to be a 600-page book. But now, I have understood that it is a perfect roadmap of how to live my life. Every problem I faced, am facing, or will face, Swami Shri has faced at a much more severe magnitude. Not because he had to, but because he willingly took it upon himself to teach me how I should remain stable and how to approach my problems.
Toral Ben from the Midwest has been listening to the Jivan Charitra and sending an interesting prasang to all of her friends every day. She says, "The Jivan Charitra has inspired me to build my prasang bank more by putting greater effort into learning about my gurus. I have also been inspired to do more prachar. After hearing these amazing prasangs, I can't keep them to myself. I feel the need to tell everyone how great my guru was and the lessons we learned from his life. It's truly relieving to hear that these Kishores and Kishoris may have felt similar to us before picking up the Jivan Charitra. That all changed quickly though, as they began to love this book as it is in itself a form of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. So now, I'm pretty sure we'd all like to know, how has reading the Jivan Charitra strengthened your connection to Pramukh Swami Maharaj?"
My connection with Pramukh Swami Maharaj has changed positively ever since I started reading the Jivan Charitra, as my mahima for him has increased.
Jivan Charitra helped me connect to Swami Shri by understanding his mahima, and also I learned how he sacrificed himself just to please his Hari Bhaktos.
Shivani Ben from the Northeast has been listening to the Jivan Charitra as their source of inspiration. She says, "My Jordan with Bapa has grown so much stronger. Listening to and recalling his Leelas calm and ground me on my toughest days. It has even allowed me to better embody his Agna of positivity, confidence, and patience that he gave me back in 2015, teaching me that I'm on this journey with him. He's not just holding my hand, but smiling and laughing every step of the way with me."
ગ્રંથ છે સામાન્ય છપ્પનનું નાનું પુસ્તક કે એવું બધું નથી. આ ગ્રંથ છે એટલે વચનામૃતની જેમ, અને આપણે કેટલો આદર ભાવ રાખીએ છીએ અને એટલે એવી રીતે આ ગ્રંથ છે એનો એટલે આદર ભાવ રાખીને. અને તમે જ્યારે હોય વચ્ચે વચ્ચે પણ સમય મળે તો અંદર ગમે પાનું ખોલશો ને તો અંદર માલમ માલ થઈ જશે. એટલે સળંગ તો વાંચવાનું છે, પણ અમથા ખુદ બધું ખૂબ માલ નીકળશે. અને આપણું ઘર છે અને અક્ષરધામ તુલ્ય બનાવશે, એ ગેરંટી વાત છે, શંકા વિનાની વાત છે. તમે આપણું ઘર આ ગ્રંથ રહેશે ને દિવ્ય ભેરું લાગશે કે આપણે આ મોટી પ્રાપ્તિ થઈ છે. એવી રીતે બધા ખાસ. અને આ જે ગ્રંથ છે, જેમ બીજા બધા લોકો પોતાના ગ્રંથો વાંચે છે, આદર આપે છે, એવી રીતે આપણે પણ આ ગ્રંથ ખાલી શોભાને રાખે, પ્રસાવો નહીં, ખાલી પધરાવો નહીં, વાંચવાથી અંદર બધો માલ, કેટલો બધો માલ લાગશે ખરેખર. બધાએ ખાસ વાંચવું, અભ્યાસ કરવો, સારી રીતે મનન ચિંતન કરવું, તો તમે બ્રહ્મરૂપ થઈ જશે. આ મહિમા સહિત, આદરભાવ સહિત હવે ગ્રંથને જેમ અપાય છે મહત્વ, એ રીતે કરશો અને વાંચશો. ખાલી આપણે પધરાઈ દેવાનું નહીં એક જગ્યાએ, પણ એને અંદર ઉપયોગ કરો, વાંચવું વસ્તુ અને મનન ચિંતન કરવું. અને એ રીતે આપણે ખરેખર ઉપયોગ કરીશું તો આપણે તમે બ્રહ્મરૂપ થઈ જશે. ચોક્કસ વાત છે. આ ગ્રંથનો એટલો પ્રભાવ છે અને બાપાનું આખું જીવન ચરિત્ર, એમને આખું જીવન આપણા માટે જીવ્યા છે. એમને પોતાની એક સેકન્ડ પોતા માટે વાપરી નથી. જે દેહ ક્રિયા હોય એ પણ એમાંય કેટલાનું કલ્યાણ કરી નાખ્યું છે. એટલે બધું ટોટલ સમગ્ર આપણે જીવન આપણા માટે જ જીવ્યા છે. એટલે એટલું અને એ રીતે આપણે મહિમા સમજીને કરશું તો આપણે બ્રહ્મની સ્થિતિ આવશે.